Hey, John from RBJ Racing. Just going to do a quick demonstration of my rollover fixture in action with my digital level and my center finder. This is my current model. I'm coming out with a new and improved design. I've actually made an improvement on this one. The adjustment on the x-axis up and down was previously with, I used to tap it around with a rubber mallet, but now I've added a mechanical adjustment and it made it quicker and easier. So setup is, the time to level off is more precise, more controlled I should say, and it's faster. So I can cut a seat. Usually I can cut a seat, for instance I just cut this seat. It's an LS1 head. I just cut an intake. I'm going to move to the exhaust level off and find center and cut that seat. Typically I can do that in about a minute and a half with this system. The new and improved system is going to be basically the same thing, only this system has a combination of 1/2 inch and 3/8 hardware, so you need it 9/16 and 3/4. My next edition is going to be all 3/8. Excuse me. It's going to be all 3/8, so it's only going to require two 9/16 wrenches and a 9/16 deep socket with a ratchet to do anything, to move this thing any which way you need to move it. Again, making it more simple and just user-friendly. It ain't going to work really any different or be any better in that sense. It's just going to be a little more user-friendly, less hardware on the table to operate it. Excuse me. So what I'm going to do now is just, somebody wanted me to do a demonstration of kind of in action how long it takes to go from one seat to the next and actually cut seats. So the exhaust, I'm doing a quick bolt cut and then a seat cut. I have a 5-angle seat cutter for that. I have a 5-angle seat cutter for the intake. The reason I'm doing a bolt cut on the exhaust is because when I initially started the valve job, this head, just bringing the seat cutter in, it was leaving a ridge, and it was seat still came in just fine, but it was leaving a ridge. So I set up a quick bolt cutter just to clean that ridge up. Could have left it the way it was, but I just wanted to do it a little better. The intake seat just about overlaps, my cutter just about overlaps the factory LS, so just coming in, I don't need any bolt cut with that. My seat cutter on the exhaust is a little more aggressive, so it's digging in a little more than the factory, GM factory. So moving on, basically what I'm going to do is just move the pilot. So you move the pilot here. What I like to do is eyeball. I'll bring my ball head driver. I'm using a ball head driver with ball heads. To get some stuff. Obviously you got a power feed. So what I like to do is use this as a kind of a peep sight to eyeball center. In my initial setup, I'll do it in both directions to eyeball center. But in this particular one, I'll get it close, so I'm basically on center. And then I use my digital level. This is how the T, whatever way the T faces is what axis you're going to adjust it on. So actually, my number, the number that it's on is where it needs to be. So these two holes on the x-axis anyway were the same. This hole is a little bit different this way. So I'm going to make a quick adjustment. A lot of times that doesn't happen. Sometimes it does, like in this case. So that's my adjustment there. Just a work support stand. And now that's level. And then I got the center finder. And I'm going to bring that down into the center finder. And just adjust my table until I'm on center based on my gauges, zeros. So now I'm on center. And again, I'm going to do a bolt cut. So when you're doing a small bolt cut, in case you don't know, sometimes when you have that cutter, there's an inch 550 valve. When you have the cutter tight to the pilot and you have just a spring on there, sometimes it wants to bind on the spring. So I have this little piece here. This was from T&S. I believe Goodson sells this now. So basically what this will do is the cutter will go into that little slot and then this will push on the spring. So you can put a spring in there. If I didn't have that, it would want to bind on the spring. With that in there, that goes into the slot and it prevents it from doing that. So basically, just gonna turn the machine on and cut this. So I'm gonna do, like I said, a quick ball cut. I'm not getting precise here. I'm not doing a competition valve job where I'm measuring exactly how far the bolt, where I bring it in. I'm basically just doing enough to, so I don't leave a ridge. It's just a production, just making it go down the road again. Still a good valve job, but I mean, and then I'm gonna bring my seat cutter in. So what I did on this, I take a magic marker, and on the seat, on the edge of the seat in the chamber, I took my magic marker and I made a line on each one of these seat inserts. So for me, it helps me to see when your seat finally comes in. Sometimes it's a little difficult to see where your seat finally, you're looking and looking, it's a little hard to see it, me, with my eyes. So when you make that magic marker, you can watch for it to clean up. So I got that on every hole. That's that. So that seat's done. So basically to do the moving on, you just move the pilot. I mean, it's pretty fast. Once you get used to it, it's a little more moving around and doing things. You're a little more hands-on than if you just floated it and, you know, dropped it in a hole and floated it again. But hey, it works well. So again, I bring this down so I can kind of eyeball my center. Bring it over, check it out, bring it a little bit more this way. So that's that. I'm going to see what I'm looking like on this axis. It's a touch low, so what I'm going to do is just double check this axis. That's a little low too. So I'm going to loosen this up so I can move it without crashing anything. So that's that, and I told you I got a mechanical adjustment now, so I'm just going to come over here with my ratchet. And I'm going to adjust it until I get to where I want to go. Now I'm level on that center, on that axis. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to adjust this axis to where I need to be based on the digital level. And I'm just watching the screen on my digital level. And that's adjusted. So now I'm level. Within a couple tenths, usually 0 to a couple tenths. This thing, once you get the thing set up, it's dead nuts every time. And it's a big time saver. And I'm going to adjust my center. And that's it. I'm ready to cut a seat. So I'm just going to rinse and repeat. So it's a pretty easy setup. I mean, it's fairly quick, and I'm doing some instruction also. So I'm probably turning 40 RPMs maybe, something like that. That's it, my seat's done. I'm ready to go to the next hole. I got it on, I'm under driving it a fair bit, and I got it on 600 RPMs. Or excuse me, I got it on 70 RPMs. So I'm probably 35 RPMs or something speed. Basically the same thing, just keep moving. Once you get used to it, it goes fairly quick. So I'm a little high there, so I'm gonna move it. So again, in this case, you just loosen up both ends. And now I can take my hand on this mechanical setup. I can take my hand and put pressure on the setup, and just with a simple hand adjustment, I can bring it down to where I want it. And then I can bring it, and then I can just snug up the plate, and then with the ratchet, I can dial it into where I need to be for my level on this axis. Just like so, when I'm watching the gauge. And now I'm level there. And then I just gotta bring this up to where I need to be. So now that thing's level, dialed into my quill perfectly. Find center. I'm not locking the table. I could lock the table. I found this is a 10 by 54 table, 3-horse mill. It's fairly rigid without locking the table. I still get good seats without locking the table, so I don't do it. Used to do it. I used to do everything in the beginning. I used to have stands mounted to the side. I was trying to get this as rigid as possible. I found you don't need a lot of that stuff. You don't need it. I still get a good seat by doing just what I'm doing. Just roll on, cut a seat. If you got a rigid table, if you got a fairly rigid mill and a rigid rollover fixture like this is, you don't need to go through all that mess. So again, I'm going to do a bowl cut. I'll do this one and one more and be done. But just giving you a demonstration. It goes fairly quick. I mean, it's not a whole lot longer than a seat and guide machine. If any uncertainty or something like that is definitely faster. You can pop one hole, keep going. That's it. We'll do one more. The more you do it, the quicker you get at it. It's just like anything. Needs a little adjustment there. That's that. That's that. That's it, I'm on center, ready to cut my seat. Put the bow spring in, cutter. That's it. So, in that amount of time and talking on top of it all, I just cut 4 seats. So, it's a pretty good setup. Best on the market, in my opinion, because I make it. But now it is, though. It's very simple, it's very fast, it's economical compared to a seat and guide machine. I'm coming out with it. The new one's going to be CNC made. The plate's going to be done on a CNC machine. Like I said, it's all going to be. Right now, I got a couple 3/4 inches, a 9/16 wrench, a 3/4, and a 9/16. I actually do it in a 13 mil for the mounting on the LS head. But a lot of stuff I do is just I only need the 9/16. I do a lot of 3/8 threaded stuff. But it's really simple, just a few things, support stand, and that's it. So I mean, that's a pretty good demonstration of how quick it is. Even with me talking, I still popped off 4 seats just like that. On a milling machine, and the accuracy, less than a thou every time seat concentricity. So on a milling machine, the accuracy is great, the speed is great, and even with this fixture, there still isn't a whole lot of hardware up on the table. With the next one, there's going to be 2 9/16 wrenches and a ratchet with a 9/16 socket, and maybe a 13 mil if you needed to do something like this to mount it up. But as far as the adjustment go, everything's going to be 9/16. This way, every which way, the stand, it's all going to be 9/16. With the mechanical adjustment on this axis now, that's here to stay. Down the road, I'm thinking about trying to make up a digital level center finder one combination thing, so you don't have 2 pieces. I got some ideas, but that's going to be a little, we'll see, you know. Nothing in the immediate future, but the 2 of them in conjunction with each other work great. And that's about it. So I hope you liked the video. If you have any, if you want this, you can go to RBJ Racing #1 @gmail.com, rbjracing1 @gmail.com. Shoot me an email if you're interested in more information, or it's $16.95 for the rollover fixture with a work support stand. That's the support, that's everything, a 1-inch riser. I got additional 3-inch risers on mine. It comes with a 1-inch riser because I was doing different things where I needed more distance. But with a 1-inch riser, you can do canted heads with this also. You just put a canted head up there and tip it. It has that much adjustment on it. There's no adapters, no anything. Even with a 1-inch riser, it's low profile, but it's still high enough off the mill table where you can do a canted head without crashing the table. I give you a long reach. You're going to get one long reach stand that's there, but it's this long. Well, it's going to have this bottom with a 1-inch top on it. That way, if you ever get this, you just use a longer threaded rod for support. If you ever needed anything lower profile than the 1-inch, you can just flip it over and threaded rod this way, and that's about as low profile as I can get with it. So you get a rollover fixture and stand, $16.95. It's $11.95 for the digital level, which is it's a lot more than a bubble level, but it's pricey to make it. And but the time savings thing with a bubble level is you move your table. If your table has any kind of tip, your bubble level is inaccurate. So you have to have your table dead nuts level to the world to use a bubble level, to have accuracy with a bubble level, and plus you're eyeballing it. So you're eyeballing a position. Your table needs to stay level, or it's not. With this digital level, you dial it into the quill. I don't care where your table is. It's going to bring your pilot around till you're dead nuts to the quill, no matter what. If your table doesn't even have to be level. Center finder is simple. So that's it. That's the whole $2.95 center finder, $11.95 digital level, $16.95 comes with a stand on the rollover fixture. You see how fast it is. There's nothing better. It's very rigid. You can put manifolds up here. It's got a 2-inch bar. You can take it to your milling machine. If you have a surfacing machine, you can put a BHJ fixture on it, and so you can do blocks, whatever. Very rigid, very very simple, reasonably priced. And it's the best thing on the market. This whole system, there's nothing better on the market for a milling machine. So that's it.